going on this week. It's been a wild week. And, again, it's a question. Is it Happy New Year? Because it kind of feels like last year a little bit. Let's move to the first slide.
It's Happy New Year today. Happy New Year.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Speaking of today, non-farm payrolls lower than last month, but still elevated. And everybody's talking about, just look at the price action, right? But there were a lot of people are saying the reason for the price action, well, theoretically, we should be down, but wage growth is higher, or I should say lower. So that's a good thing. I mean, our wage growth is intact, right? We're not worried about any of this, right? This is... Don't answer that.
Hey! Well, who died and made you Victor Jones? This is, yeah. What the hell?
You know what? I got to pick up the slack. I mean, people, I got the EEOC called me. I got all these different questions. There's only 50% of the black males now. There's only 1/3 of the. Anyway, Tesla is down again. And, they missed the fourth quarter delivery estimates the other day. They're down again on cutting prices. But what do you think about this whole Tesla thing and cars in general?
I think Tesla's just, I think it took a lot longer than anybody thought. It took almost a decade, but Tesla is finally facing reality. I don't think it's anything other, their new cars are really cool. Everything is great. I mean, they're selling a crap load of them, but I think they're finally, the marketplace
down 66% since September.
It doesn't. It's when it's down is irrelevant if it was overpriced by 66%.
Well, I'm saying overpriced by more, but I'm just saying it's normalizing. September.
They're selling like 400,000 cars a month.
I got it. They're finally normalizing. I mean, this is probably
what? Never fade a superstar. Now all of a sudden got a little bit of a political.
Hey, this is where it should be trading.
You jumped the ship. Unbelievable, Sadnov.
This is where it should be trading.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can't wait for him to say today, Tesla is our worst performing stock today. Boy, boy.
Right. I mean, it's normalizing. Apple, do you feel the same way? Is it normalizing? Now they're asking for suppliers for fewer supplies. Look, I'm not that surprised by this. They've been creating the same things for like several quarters now. There's nothing new to it. It's just a newer version. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, sometimes stocks get a little cheaper than they should be. Sometimes they get a little expensive. I think certain stocks are a little cheap right now.
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree. On the week, nat gas, man, down 15%, down like 50% over, I don't know, 6 months or something.
Nat gas is, I have a nat gas. I'm short the 3.5 puts and they're in the money now.
Of course. Yeah. I'm sure you haven't stopped there. I know.
You know what? Nat gas was just overpriced. Some things have to go down.
It was, but it's a little different with commodities. Thank you very much.
No, it's right where if I told you what's nat gas trading, if I would ask you 5 years ago, I don't know, between 2 and 5, 3.5, perfect. Yeah,
it's where it needs to be.
Something's
it's where it needs to be. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah, no big deal.
Oil down 8% on the week. I'm not sure where it is right now. Silver down 3%. Gold flat. I don't really know what to make of any of these other than nat gas. I think temperatures have been a little warmer than expected. Dollars up 1.5% year to date. And the short end of the yield curve is higher compared to obviously the back end of the yield curve. So really not much change in bonds quite yet. And I think now we're looking at possibly 5% for the final, or between 5 and 5.5% for the terminal rate. We'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. VIX is a little above the long-term average. VVIX, I know we take the tape off every now and again and look at it. Dude, I didn't realize it was 75. This is 4-year lows, man.
This is if you're looking for the most interesting story on here, I think actually that's the most interesting story on this first page is that the difference between the VIX, how high that's trading, and volatility at 4-year lows. That to me is that's the most interesting disconnect. Now, I think it means that our positions are really good because it means volatility is going to crap out. But I don't know.
I'd be curious to know how many times VIX has been above 20 with VVIX kind of this level.
I don't ever remember it.
Yeah, me neither.
But I have no idea.
Right. Let's move ahead to the next slide. Time for some charts. Options volume explosion 3 years in a row. Let me ask you a question. Back in the day when you used to go out and talk about options, did you imagine something like this happening at some point in time?
Yes.
Yeah, right? I kind of did too. I was in, and I'm sure you guys got plenty of these type of stories too. I was in Boca Raton. This was like the beginning of 2020.
With your people?
With my people, yes. With my people. And well, these were septed and octogenarians, so I don't know if those are my people. But at an event, first of all,
I met more Jews than old people, but it's okay.
I've seen you in action. You do excel in that group. Yeah.
They were first of all, they gave him lunch for this event before we started talking to him, which was a mistake. But then this one guy comes talking macro. Exactly my point. This one guy comes talk macro. I come in to talk options. Half the room left. I thought they might have left for another reason, but that's another time. It was weird, man. And I remember talking to the people, and I was like, options, everybody's going to be trading options soon. Watch. Sure enough, 2020. 2021, 2022. So really impressive, man, to see options growing the way it is.
Agreed.
Move ahead to the next slide. Look at this shouldn't be a surprise, but when you look at the VIX versus the NASDAQ VIX, you can see a little divergence right now, obviously because of what's going on with the Apples and the Teslas and whatever else of the world. There is some elevation to that VIX. I guess, ours being above 20, again, being 22 is interesting, but you can see a little bit of elevation here. And again, it's not too surprising, but keep that in mind when you're trading some of your NASDAQ stocks, as I know a lot of you and myself are. Let's move ahead. Elon Musk net worth. Saz, we need your pie of this. We need to see what your pie looks like. He's got 32% to SpaceX, essentially about 50% is Tesla, right? So he's taking a hit right now. He's got Twitter, which again, I'm sure he's expecting to grow this thing and sell it back out for more. That's how you do with private equity, right? And then he's got the Boring Company, which I'm still pissed off that I never bought a flamethrower. I should have got one of those. I didn't get one at the time.
I think they're still available.
Nah, they're not. I've looked around a lot, man. They're all available probably on eBay or something, but not from.
He only owns? I don't get the 20 billion in Twitter. Do they already mark it down, or is that? I don't.
What was the value? I thought it was 20 billion he bought it for.
I thought it was 44 billion.
Oh, was it? Maybe I messed up.
Yeah, it was.
But I don't know. I don't know what percent of that 44 is his. It's not.
Oh yeah, that's what it relates to. That's the part he owns. Yeah. Right. The other part is like from Ellison and all these other people. I'm sure it's not all 44. Okay. Right.
So what point are you? What are you trying to say here?
I'm trying to say these are the things that he owns, and so everybody keeps worrying about what's going on with his net worth and what's going on.
I'm not actually worried about Elon's net worth.
Okay. Well, I want to see your pie next time. We can put yours up. We can talk about that, huh? We can dissect that, huh?
Yeah, we'll get a little more closer to home so you can be more, engaged.
Let's move ahead to the next slide. Chinese stocks are up huge off their October lows.
Oh, Sadnov, if you give us an as foretold after Jamal is done speaking,
as foretold.
Yeah, right. I'm not listening to him. The Chinese stocks.
I don't know. I've just been barking at the moon for a year, but whatever.
About what? Nothing.
Chinese stocks.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, yeah. Well, you know what? Not everybody's been able to hold on to them. Okay,
I get it. I understand. I'm not. That's why I'm not saying anything.
Exactly.
That's why I'm not pounding my chest like some podcasters do.
Okay, here's my thing. We've seen them do this move a couple of times throughout the year. This is a big one now. Is this the beginning of more upside, or is it kind of another rally to sell? I mean, China's been a wild card, right?
I don't think it's a rally to sell, but I don't think you're going to see, this is not going to be unlimited upside, but I don't think it's a rally to sell.
Okay. Next slide. So what we got next? Of course, we have the December payrolls today. We got CPI coming up next week on the 12th. And then later in the week, this is the SPY curve. As of yesterday, it didn't have the Jan payrolls. Well, I should say it didn't have the FOMC, which was previous to this. That data point. There's two data points in between, is what I'm trying to say, for the Jan payrolls and FOMC.
You mean this is VIX? This is
SPY forward curve. So
these are futures?
No, this is like it's a little program that kind of looks at it looks at it like a forward curve, basically looking at the
So
vol.
it looks at it like a future.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. Something that Dr. Data put together. So you can look at the different volatilities for the next couple of months on any different product. In this case, it's SPY.
Yeah.
Right? So you can see where
so what's interesting about this is that this is completely different than what it looked like a couple months ago. Like
sure.
it was very much in contango a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And it's very flat now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, what we keep seeing, right? Like these are, like, for example, when we get out to that 29 distance expiration, soon as that's a couple of days away, right, we're going to see the bump, right? Like it shows that people kind of wait before they really start attacking these different expirations.
Yeah, sure.
So CPI is coming up next week. That's the main takeaway here. Let's move ahead to the last slide. Couple other things that happened throughout the week. That Robinhood, those shares that were owned by SBF and the FTX linked shares were seized by the government. Those don't. So again, this is sort of another piece of what's going on with that whole scenario, and now they own it. You know what happens then. GE Healthcare, they finally spinned off and they began trading on the NASDAQ. It's on the GEHC. So this is one of the things that GE is starting to do. They're spinning off the different companies. Next is probably going to be the aviation piece. But this is something that, who knows? We'll take a look at it, and when it gets options, maybe it'll be interesting in trading. Who knows? It's a $26 billion company. Silvergate, man, look, I almost sold vol in here the other day. I'm really glad I didn't. I skated on that one. But this stock tumbled on earnings. Customers withdrew about $8 billion worth of funds, and they also laid off people. So another crypto-related thing that's really been tanking recently. But the interesting thing, though, I thought, was that crypto, Bitcoin, for example, did not fall on this news. So you got to wonder if things are starting to level out on crypto.
I wonder if this stock is a play right here.
Yeah, I looked at it a little bit yesterday. I don't know. I mean, it's a $13 stock now. Yeah, it's 100. I mean, when I say play,
it has earnings January 17th. That's what kind of stopped me. And markets are good. I mean, they're 10 cents wide, but there's thousands of open interest on every line. So I would imagine any type of spread is going to get a good market.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking about it, Tony. Like, I mean, with the stock down this morning, $1 and change?
Yeah.
Can you get like 90 cents for the 7.5 puts in Feb? It doesn't sound too bad.
They had a delta of 17, so you're going to get pretty close.
Yeah.
90 cents.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's rich in there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a bankruptcy play at that point,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think I'm going to put a $1 offer in and see what happens.
Oh, why don't you put a $1.10 offer in now?
Yeah,
really be far away. I mean, for crying out loud.
Where you're at, I'm at. Layoffs.
Oh, look, I tried.
There's still more layoffs happening, despite what we saw this morning. CRM announced layoffs this week, Stitch Fix, Vimo, Amazon. Most of them are tech-related companies, which hired a lot at the beginning of the pandemic. Just keep that in mind. Triple BY, talk about bankruptcy plays. 30-year lows on Triple BY. I'm not surprised. I think most of us aren't. And then research, a market measure of hidden deltas from Vega, which is coming up today. I thought that looked pretty interesting, so check that out.
Nice.
Very good. You know what, Sosnoff? I'm going to have to let everybody go. We got about 2.5 minutes here. He's Tom Sosnoff. I'm Tony Batista. He's Jamal Chandler, the owner of the first F-bomb of the year. We'll be back in 90 seconds. You listen to Tasty Live with the opening bell next.